Hello, welcome to Truth and Wellness. We're so glad that you've joined us today. I'm Gail McKenzie and I'm your host. We have a special guest with us today, Marilyn White. She is a resident of Gallatin, Tennessee. And so we're going to just kind of explore and hear about her story, her journey, her walk with Jesus, and some of the exciting things that she's done along the way. So Marilyn, let's start with, where did you grow up? Tell us a little bit about your family and your family background.
Oh, okay. I grew up in Old Hickory, just right outside of Nashville,
Okay,
Tennessee.
you were very close then. Okay, all right.
And my dad and my granddad were builders.
All right.
And so they had a family business going there.
Mm-hmm.
And they built the church that I grew up going to, St. Philip's Episcopal Church.
Really?
And my mom was my Sunday school teacher and sewed my costumes and things, whatever I needed.
Okay.
So she was a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and she lives in Florida now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I grew up and went to public school at Mount Juliet High School.
All right, very familiar, yes. A familiar place, yes.
And I met my husband there.
Okay.
And he was going to Nashville First Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Okay.
So I started going to church on Saturday and Sunday. I go to church every Saturday with him, and I go to church every Sunday with my parents. So
you were really getting a lot of good stuff.
Blessed.
Yes. That's great.
Doubly blessed.
Okay.
But I did that for a reason. I wanted to see if I liked his church as well or better than my own.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I did, and I joined.
Okay.
I joined the Adventist church when I was 18. I waited until my senior year in high school. I'd been going there a year and a half almost. And Kenneth Cox came to town, and I went to 7 or 8 of his meetings. I didn't go to the whole series, but almost.
And he's an evangelist.
And he's an Adventist evangelist. Very famous.
Yes, he is.
And so I took some Bible studies after that as well, and started studying for baptism, and I got baptized when I was 18.
18 years old. Wow, made that decision. That's great. Big change in your life, though.
Yes.
Now, from there, did you go on to school, or
Went on to college at Belmont and got a Bachelor of Business Administration.
Okay.
And started working for when I graduated. We got married my senior year in college.
Oh, okay.
So, and he had a family business too, and his was auto parts. So I started working for his family business, keeping the books.
Oh, okay.
So I was a bookkeeper.
Okay.
And then became a mom, and that was great because I could work part-time for that year when she was an infant. I worked part-time.
That was nice. That was nice. And her name is?
Jennifer
That's
White.
right. Yeah, Jennifer. Yes, sweet girl. So
and she's back at our alma mater now. We both went to Belmont, and she's there in law school.
Oh, wow.
At Belmont. They have a brand new law school, and she's in the second class of Belmont Law. So.
Well, she's kind of come full circle then, huh? That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So you were married, you had your daughter, and then what was your journey from there?
Well, from there I started doing things for her, teaching cradle roll in kindergarten, like a lot of young mothers do. And then 2 things. I wanted to come from Nashville First Church to Madison Campus Church because we have a school there, Madison Campus Elementary.
Right.
And so
Christian elementary school, yes, in Madison.
That was important. So we transferred from just 10 miles apart from one church to the other to be at the one that had the church school.
Sure.
And started with the Adventurer Club, which is kind of like Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, but they have it together. The boys and girls are together, and the parents teach the honor badges like candle making and map making and camping and all that.
Cool.
So we had to immediately invest in backpacks and tents and all that stuff. And got to go rappelling and cooking, and then I started doing cooking schools, vegetarian cooking schools. I did one at First Church, and I did about 5 altogether. One at First Church, one at Madison Academy, and then 3 at Campus Church.
Okay.
So because of that, I went on Talk of the Town to advertise for it on Channel 5's noontime show, Talk of the Town. So I did that. Oh,
that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Each time to let people know that the cooking school was coming.
Right. And at these cooking schools, share with us just a little bit. What if I were to come to your school? What would you do? What do I do? Do I just sit there? Do I get to participate? Do I get to eat the food? What?
Right. We would have about 18 ladies involved, in putting the show on.
I see.
And it was like one night a week for 4 weeks. We'd stretch it out.
I see.
So it'd be every Wednesday night or every Sunday night.
Okay.
And teaching vegetarianism, people really do live 7 to 10 years longer on a vegetarian diet. So that's why our church encourages that. You don't have to be a vegetarian, but it's encouraged for a long and healthy life.
Sure. Yeah.
Because the healthier you are, the more you can serve Him and
that's right.
have a long and happy life.
That's right. That's right. So I bet you had some great experiences, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I learned how to cook vegetarian from my mother-in-law. Her husband had been a diabetic, and it really helped his diabetes.
Oh, wow.
He contracted diabetes at age 31 and made it to age 80 by being a vegetarian.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? Yes.
Walking a mile a day. He walked a mile every day that it was good weather.
So he really followed some health laws, didn't he? And health,
50 years.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have died 10 years into the diabetes.
Sure.
He was really sick.
Sure.
So
wow, that's amazing. That's a real testimony, isn't it? That's great. And have you done some cooking school since then, or are you?
I've helped occasionally. I kind of did it once a year for about 4 or 5 years, and then got busy. I became a realtor. I got busy involved in selling real estate. So.
Okay, so that's another passion of yours, isn't it? Okay, keeps you very busy, doesn't it? Okay, and now we know that one of the other passions that you've had is missions. Marilyn has had several experiences with mission trips. You may have heard of them, you may have been on a mission trip, but Marilyn has a real passion to go beyond the borders of her world right around here, gets outside of her comfort zone and her box, I guess you might say. So we're going to be talking to her today about some of those trips and what she's been doing, and we hope that it will encourage you to maybe take a look at doing something different. Okay, Marilyn, let's just start right now. What was the first trip that you ever went on? Where did you go?
For a mission trip?
Yes.
It was with Madison Academy, where our kids both went to school.
Which is a private Christian school, okay?
In Nashville. And they take a mission trip every spring on spring break, and I think that's a great thing to do, a great opportunity. And they take 6 or 8 adults, sometimes a few more. And the first one we went on was on my daughter's freshman year. We went to the Dominican Republic.
Okay,
and
all right.
We finished a church. We painted a church that had been built on Christmas break. So the church had been constructed 3 months prior.
Okay,
so we went in and painted it. And you wouldn't think that was very hard, but they were using different paint than what we're used to here. So there were a lot of fumes, probably oil-based. And we had to get on scaffolding, and we polyurethane the pews, shellac the pews.
Yes.
And we built, so one team did that, another team did Vacation Bible School, and then a third team started a new church from scratch.
Wow.
Concrete block.
Wow.
So that was with Maranatha, and that was wonderful. They have the plans all drawn out. They know exactly how many materials to buy. They hire some laborers there locally to supervise. But the kids
they're involved too. Local people are involved in that. That's really great. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the kids get to do everything from mixing concrete to laying the block.
Wow.
And do Vacation Bible School and shellac pews and paint ceilings and walls. So
they get their hands dirty, in other words, don't they? Yes, yes. Now, you mentioned Maranatha. You might want to tell our viewers, what is Maranatha and what do they do?
It's a group within the Adventist Church, and they build churches primarily is their main function.
And some schools, I understand, yes, in some areas around the world, yes. In fact, I think they have what they call a one-day church, one-day school thing, which is really great. So they organize teams and groups of people that go how far? Just outside the United States, just a little ways, or where do they go?
They go all over. It's primarily Central and South America, Mexico, and some of the islands. And Africa, I think, too, they will go there. Maranatha does. But you've not been to Africa? No, I haven't been there yet.
All right, So you got your feet wet, went with your daughter, and what happened as a result of that? Right here for you. What happened?
It was wonderful. There were several couples of parents that went, and they put us in a little special cottage, and we took cold showers. Everybody had cold showers. There was no hot water in the Dominican Republic. But the kids really learned a lot from that. Just that not everybody lives as we do. Not everybody has hot water or trash service. Just a lot of little things.
I remember one that my husband was on, and he said the girls, the first thing he said is, "We can't use our curling irons." You know, they were, but by the end of the trip, it didn't even matter. So they got kind of used to and accustomed to being without some of the things they're used to here. So.
And they had so much fun doing vacation Bible school and taking toys and games and balls. I mean, these children don't have very many toys, and there are no stores per se close by where they can purchase things readily.
And so you take all those things in there and share those with the kids.
Coloring books and crayons, something as simple as crayons. You wouldn't believe how valuable they are in Central America
Absolutely.
And the islands.
Yeah. I mean, I've thrown crayons away, lots of broken crayons, like, look, get rid of them, They're broken, that's it. So, yeah, they would probably cherish that, wouldn't they?
They would.
Yes. So that was your first mission trip. Where did you go from there?
Then her sophomore year, I did something with her every year, as did my husband. But her sophomore year, I went on Appalachian Outreach with Madison Academy, which is a trip to Kentucky.
In the Appalachia.
In the mountains. And they had several homes designated that they knew to be worthy families that needed help.
I see.
They would replace floors, they would replace bathrooms, they would roof homes, they would clean out dwellings.
Whatever was needed there in that area, then you would go in and do that. That's really great. I bet the kids really enjoyed that too, didn't they?
They did that for 4 days, 4 or 5 day trip, and they had to sleep on a gymnasium floor.
Oh boy!
At a Christian school in Kentucky. But they loved it because there were children there from 3 or 4 different schools all across the country, and they come together and they'd play guitar and they'd sing before supper, and just
fun.
The camaraderie and the fellowship between different schools was great.
And they're all working together for a common cause. That's really helping people.
Right. So those 2 trips, I got to cook for about 200 people every day.
Oh, okay. All right.
Which sounds like I'm a crazy person, but that's something I really enjoy, especially when you've got a good team of about 10 people in there helping. It makes it a lot easier.
So I bet there were some other parents that came along. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. So you did Appalachia Outreach. What have you done since then?
Since then, 2 more. Her senior year, we went to Peru, and we got to see Machu Picchu.
Oh, wow.
And they had done Peru twice in a row, and I didn't think I'd get to go back, but they went twice in a row, so the second time I said, I'm going to. And we all got to see Machu Picchu, and it's beautiful. It's so high up. You take a bus, you take a train first, and then you take a bus all the way to the top and see all these ruins, and how old it is, and see the llamas, and they call them llamas.
Really?
You get to see the llamas everywhere.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Very nice trip.
So beside, the kids did get a little bit of, geography, history, whatever, and with their. Now, what did you build there? What did you work on there in Peru?
There we. Let's see, the year before they had painted the library at a college, and then this year, it was the People of Peru project. An Adventist gentleman from Idaho went down and established a clinic and a ministry, and we still give him $10 a month even to this day. It's really small, but there's thousands of people that give him $10 a month. And so
it adds up, doesn't it? Yes, it does.
So, yes, so we took 2 big huge boxes of medical supplies, and we mainly gave out vitamins. We had a medical clinic that time. We handed out a lot of vitamins. We did some primary care triaging, taking people to surgery that needed to go, and that kind of thing.
So that was more actually hands-on, helping the people rather than building a building for them at that point.
We did vacation Bible schools again there, and they were very popular. We took more crayons and more coloring books because we learned how popular those items were.
Sure.
They were lightweight and easy to travel with, but something they just dearly loved and held on to.
Yeah, something very special for them, I bet. Yeah.
That and the vitamins, they really crave vitamins and can't get them.
Wow, that's something else. Now, I understand that just about a year or so ago, was it? Where did you go? Tell us about that trip. That was an exciting trip, wasn't it? Yes.
It was.
Yes.
Well, she's saying that because her husband, Mike McKenzie, went on the trip with us too. And,
Yes.
and he got to speak. And it was an evangelistic series. And it was something our church, Madison Campus, Seventh-day Adventist, had planned 6 months or more in advance.
Yes.
And had sent Bible workers down to Agua Azul, Honduras.
Okay.
And,
Honduras, yes. That's where they went. Yeah.
And we had, gosh, so much going on. We had a huge medical clinic with about a dozen people giving out medicines, and 2 doctors, a husband and wife doctor team, working there. And she even did OBGYN checkups.
Really?
The female doctor did.
Really?
So
wow.
that was great. And at the same time, we were holding a vacation Bible school every day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at a public school, which is unusual.
Yes,
They're a majority Catholic country, but they did not mind just
you coming in. Yeah, different.
Just a very non-denominational public vacation Bible school.
Well, that's really
at the
great.
end of school every day when they finished at 3 o'clock, we were there and we did an hour VBS, and then we had to pack and get on a bus and go back and do a 7 p.m. Evangelistic series and children's stories and children's ministries for an hour.
And I bet the kids really liked that, didn't they? Yes,
they did. They
that's
got to
cool.
use their Spanish, the ones that knew Spanish.
Oh, okay,
So
that was
it gives
good.
them a little incentive to learn Spanish when they go to a Spanish-speaking country and have to do children's services.
You also did a building, though, too, didn't you? So there was building?
We did a one-day church.
Okay, there you go. Yes.
A Sabbath school building right next to it. So there was a concrete block education building, and then 10 feet away a concrete block church, and that was a Maranatha project as well.
So you were doing a building, you had evangelistic meetings, you had VBS, and you had a medical clinic. All 4 of those going on. How many adults did you have go?
There were about 31 adults plus 3 or 4 people that flew in from out of state as well.
I see.
So about 35 of us.
Wow.
And it was a 13-day trip, and we only got 2 days off. During 13 days, we literally worked from about 8 a.m., 7:30 a.m. till 9 p.m. at night.
Wow.
For 11 of the 13 days.
Wow. You didn't stop much, did you?
No. And we slept in bunk beds in a dormitory, but I can tell you I have never felt more blessed and more used of God and more like I was exactly in the right place at the right time.
Really?
Doing His will.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the best.
Do you have one special experience maybe you'd like to share with us that just kind of stands out in your mind?
Yeah, there were 2 little girls that I got to be friends with, and I thought they were sisters, but come to find out they were from different families. The last weekend we were there, we toured what they called the mountain. It was just a hill where people were sort of quasi-renting these shacks, and these were worse than our barns, much worse. I mean, this is like a garden shed or tool shed with holes and gaps between the boards.
And they were renting them?
Yeah, they were like sharecroppers, and they were farmers.
Wow.
And they didn't have any water, and they were catching water in igloos. And so we felt so bad for them, wanted to go back and do a water treatment program. Well, a few months after we got back, in the end of February last year, they were forced away. They were forced to move from where they rented. So anything we had done permanent there would have just belonged to the landlord.
I see. So they couldn't even stay there then to take advantage.
90 people were baptized while we were there, 90 people.
Wow.
And a few months later, we heard that the Bible workers had kept working, and we kept sending them money. And they had baptized 150 people.
Wow, that is amazing, isn't it? Oh, that's very special.
Trip.
Yes,
and that was all adults. There were no children, or no students on that trip. They were either in their 30s, in their 50s, or in their 60s. So it was a very interesting group of people. And that was a blessing, too, to not have to worry so much about the students, but to get to serve more. It was longer days and more hours. But
so a little bit of a switch up from the, Yes. Well, what would you say to anybody who's watching us now to encourage them to get out there and maybe get involved in mission work? What would you say to them today?
Oh, it's worth it. The payoff is worth it. You do have to take cold showers sometimes when you go to third world countries.
Okay.
You do eat a lot of different food, but it's very exciting.
Yes. I think you had rice and beans.
I had rice and beans almost every day.
That's what I was for every meal, I think, just about.
Yes. Even black beans with eggs, you know, for breakfast.
Oh, okay.
So beans were almost on your plate at every
All
meal.
right. Okay.
So after a couple days, we'd go to the market ourselves a block away and buy lots of bananas, and we'd kind of make our own banana and peanut butter sandwiches for breakfast to keep from having black beans for breakfast. But
supplement. Maybe that's why my husband doesn't like black beans anymore. I don't know.
Want them anymore.
No, he doesn't really.
He did a great job on that trip too. He had to preach a lot.
He enjoyed it. He really enjoyed it. That was great.
Yeah.
Well, we know that there are many groups that you can get involved with, and as we've mentioned, Maranatha is a place that you can log on to their website, even join a group. They've got groups going all around the world, to India, Africa, even in Asia, just anywhere that you want to go, just about. You can join a group and build, especially these one-day churches, and one-day schools, very, very popular right now, and really can make a difference when you give like that.
Oh, they take such excellent care of you too while you're there. They make sure you have good food. They make sure you have English-speaking translators with you at all times.
Okay.
And even when your group breaks up into 3 or 4 workstations, they make sure there's an interpreter at each workstation. They get you transportation while you're there. I felt very well cared for.
A lot of planning went into it then before you even went there.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
And someone from our church went down, 2 men did, and did a pre-trip, and they picked out the hotels. They saw the dormitory in the school where we stayed. They checked, they ate the food we were going to eat. They took the transportation we were going to take. So I always felt very safe because it was all planned out to the last detail. I was never in danger.
Very organized and very, that's really, and that's good. That's good to know, so that you, like you say, you feel safe and comfortable. Well, I'm so glad that we've had this chance to talk about missions. I believe in it firmly. I think it changes your life.
It does.
And it changes your perspective, and especially for young people. So we just want to encourage you today that if you are thinking about it, contemplating about it, check it out. Go to some websites. Find a place where you can find that you can serve. Someplace around this world that gets you outside of your, you know, we all kind of live in this little comfort zone, don't we? And we want to encourage you to do that today. So thank you for joining us on Truth and Wellness, and please come back again.
It may not be on the mountain's heights or over the stormy sea. It may not be at the battlefront. My Lord will have need of me. But if by a still small voice He calls to paths I do not know, I'll answer, dear Lord, with my hand in thine. I'll go where you want me to go. I'll go where you want me to go, dear Lord, over mountain, over plain or the sea. And I'll say what you want me to say, dear Lord. I'll be what you want me to be. Perhaps today there are loving words that would have me speak. There may be now in the path of sin some wanderer whom I should seek. O Savior, if thou wilt be my guide, though dark and rugged the way, my voice shall echo your message sweet. I'll say what you want me to say, and I'll go where you want me to go, dear Lord, over mountain, over plain or the sea. And I'll say what you want me to say, dear Lord. I'll be what you want me to be. There's surely somewhere a lonely place in earth's harvest field so wide, where I may labor through life's short day for Jesus the crucified. So trusting my all unto thy care, I know thou lovest me. I'll do thy will with a heart that's sincere. I'll be what you want me to be. And I'll go where you want me to go, dear Lord, over mountain, over plain or the sea. And I'll say what you want me to say.